So welcome back everyone to the Knowledge Hub at the Virtual Travel Retail Expo 2021. And thank you to Somros and the amazing Sadeka sisters for that virtual coffee break. Well, we're going from virtual to very much reality now. And I'm very honored to introduce our next guest. He's a famous man through our industry, the latter-day statesman of travel retail, the one and only Colm McLoughlin, Executive Vice Chairman and CEO of Dubai Duty Free. And, you know, since starting his career long ago with Aer Rianta at the birthplace of Duty Free, Shannon Airport in Ireland, he's become synonymous, of course, with the Dubai Duty Free story, which he initiated along with a bunch of his Irish colleagues back in 1983 on a short-term contract for the Dubai government. Well, of course, that short-term contract became a very, very long stay. And Colm has led Dubai Duty Free with remarkable distinction through that time. For years, of course, Dubai Duty Free has been the world's largest single retail airport duty-free location. And while the pandemic has, of course, hit revenue hard, a recovery is well underway. And Colm will talk about that recovery today, perhaps some of the lessons of the crisis and how the future looks for this world-leading, world-class travel retailer. So with no further ado, Colm, it is lovely to see you and thanks for being with us today. Welcome.
Happy to see you, Martin, and you're very, very welcome. And it's the first time in my life that somebody has described that I will be coming into the Knowledge Hub.
Well, let's start, Colm, if I may, with a state of the nation overview, as it were. And, you know, in the run-up to the Virtual Travel Retail Expo, we've seen different signs of recovery around the world. Sometimes it's 3 steps forward, sometimes it's 3 steps forward and 3 back. It's been a stuttering recovery and very much varies by geography. Now, sum up for us, please, how Dubai Duty Free's recovery from really the nadir of the COVID-19 crisis last year is taking shape.
We're very happy the way this year is going, not as an overall happiness, but we're comparing our business with last year, and it's 16% up on last year. There's more and more traffic being announced all the time. Emirates are now servicing 90% of their destinations. So the traffic is up in last year. As I say, our business is up in last year, and we're certainly going to break $700 million sales this year. So it's positive. Now, on the overall picture, of course, you cannot be extremely happy with a business that is down 60% on 2 years ago, when our traffic through the airport was 89 million passengers. Our traffic last year was 27 million passengers. And this year we're expecting a little bit over 27 million. This year we're expecting our sales to be up on last year. We had sales in 2019, you didn't ask me this, but we had sales of $2 billion US. In 2020, we had 680 million US dollars. And this year we're going to have 710 or 715 million US dollars. So versus last year, we're happy. Yeah. Versus last year, we're sad versus 2 years ago in relation to how small the business is in comparison to that time. We're sad that our total staff, which was at 6,000 2 years ago, is now 2,500 people. But I'm happy to say that we've recently started recalling some of our ex-staff, if you like, some of our furloughed staff. So we have at the moment the list staff, we're bringing 550 staff back, and that's happening by degrees. Some came last week, some are coming this week, some will come next week, because we did in the last couple of months open Concourse D, and we have been managing that with our existing resources until now, but we've called back that. So we're happy about that.
So Colm, in terms of the level of business you'll be doing this year, where would that put you in your chronology? It's got to put you back a a good many years, I suspect.
The last time we did our sales at the same level was probably 10 years ago.
Gosh.
The last time we had 2,500 staff would also have been 8 or 9 years ago. And the positive thing out of it is that it's increasing all the time and it's improving all the time.
Yeah.
We think very much that shortly Concourse A might come into operation, because Emirates have announced, for example, that they're going to have 80% of the 380 airplanes back in the sky very shortly. So we're looking at Concourse A right now and preparing it in the event that that won't happening soon. And we're just keeping our fingers crossed. What I'm very happy about is I bore people talking about team effort and everything like that, but what I'm very happy about is that the way all our team have got together in this and the way we're able to do things and new things. And, a year ago, they came up with this idea of doing home delivery. And, we do this, we do a little promo thing. We offer this service to people. We started it in July last year. It's just over a year old now. But we've done $12 million sales on it since we started it. And I keep on saying in all of these things, but I have learned how important it is that the whole team get together, that you're all kicking with the same foot. And there's been a very positive response from our staff here, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah. I wonder, Colm, when we talk about comparisons with 2019 and what amount to the golden days, if now we really just got to look forward, and I suspect you do, because you're always a glass half full rather than half empty man. So it's a matter of playing what's in front of you, isn't it? And saying, well, 2019, that's gone. What's my business look like right now, and how can I make it better and stronger?
That's what we're all asking ourselves all the time, of course. And we're one of the premier examples here of what should be done from a safety point of view. And, the government are very happy with it. We have distancing control. We have special rules in relation to perfume testing and stuff like that. And we've recently heard from the health authorities here that we're one of the best responses they've had. Now, I think the response everywhere in this country is good. I think also, and you didn't particularly ask me this, but the work the government have done here on injections and so on is absolutely fantastic. Like 18.5 million injections have been given to clients here, which means almost everybody has had the second injection. The cases every day in comparison to other places have been reduced. And, the cases each day over the weekend were less than 1,000 people. And if you look at that and compared with other countries, it's minimal. Yeah. And, I listened on the radio this morning coming to work. There were 600 cases yesterday, but there were 380,000 tests done yesterday. And that's been the level for a long time. And it's very encouraging. It gives you you can go out, and if you want to play a game of golf, people are playing golf. And if you want to go to a restaurant, the restaurants are busy, and it's very positive.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the Dubai government has said, we are going to do everything in our power to make our vital tourism industry safe and attractive. And I think it's moved some mountains in doing that. And of course, that's crucial to your business, Colm, because at the end of the day, Dubai duty free is a subsector of the tourism industry.
It's very encouraging also. And what's just around the corner is that Expo 2020 is about to start.
Yeah.
And we had a meeting yesterday morning, which was organized by the Expo 2020 people, to recognize companies that are supporting it. And it was a very nice event. Ramesh Sadambi and I went to it. And the news out of Expo 2020, it's all up and ready to go. And they're expecting something like 18 million visits to the Expo 2020 site. There are 191 countries represented there. And from the Dubai Duty Free's point of view, I'm very happy to say that in a location at Expo 2020, between the Irish Pavilion and between what they call Jubilee Park, we're actually in the process of finishing an Irish village, which we're putting there for the 6 months. And we're very happy about that. We're very happy also that it has recently been announced that Riverdance, which is a very famous Irish product, are going to do 28 live shows in Jubilee Park in November to help the Irish stand in Expo 2020. So there's a great buzz. In the last year, there has been a new railway track added on to the metro in the city, which is going out to this site. So it's causing a great buzz around the place, and it seems to be very positive. And we think that'll be very good for us. And we think it will enhance something, Martin, that we have noticed and we're studying over the last 6 months, 9 months. Our sale per head is the highest it's ever been. And whether it's people just it's their opportunity to travel, and our sale per head has gone from a 2019 figure of about $40 to $53 or $4 per sale. So we're very happy about that. So we're taking that as a positive.
Yeah, well, that's a very important indicator, as you know, far better than me.
Yeah.
And obviously, with fewer people traveling for quite a while to come, I suspect it's going to be all about trying to get those that are traveling spending more. So at least in that sense, you're tracking very much in the right direction.
We're going in the right direction on that, yes.
Yeah. Now, Colm, I've talked to you quite a lot in the days since this wretched crisis started about leadership. And I know you lead from the front. You lead by power of personality, by empathy. I remember you telling me through last year that you were there at the office every day, leading the team and just being a role model. I want to press you on that a bit about the leadership challenge of steering a business that had seen so much fair weather through the foulest weather you could imagine, the most sustained and severe crisis in industry history. And I want to know, what were the Colm McLoughlin guiding principles to that?
Well, when you're talking about weather, I guess wearing an umbrella, using an umbrella, Martin, might be the answer. I've been talking a lot always, as you know, about teamwork. And I think it's very important. And that certainly has worked for us in the last year. And the same, I'm not saying everybody's saying things the same as I am, but no matter what idea anybody comes up with, there's a full effort by everybody to investigate it, to look at it and see how it's going to work. Now, it's very, very sad that a number of our staff went on furlough. And again, talking about teamwork, we're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applications for work, but they all are taking their place in the queue until we have called back all the staff that want to come back. And I think that reflects on our operation. I think it reflects how people work. The office hours in somewhere like our head office here is 3 p.m. every afternoon closer. But if you come here at 5 p.m., there are people still here working. And that's been running right through at all levels of our organization. And I'm very happy about that. We have a board here, of course, our own board, which we call the Dream Team. And there are 9 of us on the Dream Team, and they're all equally as enthusiastic as I am. And they are also preaching and making it happen, our teamwork. And I know what encourages the team very much, and you didn't ask me this, but we haven't recruited a senior person into Dubai Duty Free from outside for 20 years. All our senior positions are people that have been with Dubai Duty Free and have been promoted and worked their way into their present position. And I'm very happy we did that, Mark.
Yeah, and besides the expertise that all that experience brings, of course, it brings a couple of other things. It brings great loyalty, and it brings the teamwork, the team spirit that you've just talked about, and that's manifestly obvious, Colm, when anyone ever comes to and visits your operation. There's a great, I would say, spirit of kindredship among your senior management, and it spreads therefore down into the team.
I think so, and I'm very happy also that out of our 6 senior vice presidents, 3 of them are ladies, so it's an equal mix.
I'm pleased to hear that, because we're talking about a lot during this virtual expo about gender equality, about inclusiveness, and you've never been one to stand on a soapbox and proclaim it, but you've employed and promoted and championed some great women in your organization, Colm. So I think you deserve a call out for that. Let's move to the positives you spoke about. You said Concourse A might be coming back on stream. I'm just going to ask you a little bit more about that. Obviously, there have been some wider developments this year that have helped the restoration of relationships with Qatar. I suspect that helped business as well. Tell us about that and any of the other positives that you can see at the moment.
Well, one very positive thing is, for a while, Saudis could not travel to Dubai. Now that restriction has been released, and we find the Saudi travel into our duty free is worth 1 million dirhams per day, and a million dirhams is $280,000 US. So it's worth 1 million dirhams a day that Saudi traffic is free to come in.
Is that in current terms, or are we rolling back to 2019?
No, that's in current terms.
Okay, yeah, good.
That's current terms.
Yeah.
And when we do the checks, there are many countries that still have to be tested when people arrive here from that country. But the airport is all set up in such a way that happens very, very quickly. And they get the results within a number of hours, whether they have to stay in quarantine or whether they can free to walk around it. So I think all the little bits and pieces that we're all doing, all added together, makes it a very positive thing. Yeah, the bits falling into place, and it's good that the relationship with Qatar is back. It's because of those things that 2 months ago that we opened Concourse D, and looking at it, if you looked at it from a very selfish kind of thing, we would say to ourselves, well, we're just going to be handling the same passengers, but we're splitting it a little bit. But having a better service like that available means that our sales will be better, means that our staff will have more time to concentrate on people. It means that the customers will be more comfortable and relaxed shopping. They won't be in crowded areas all the time. So it's worked very well for us. Yeah,
and I think we have to celebrate every gain, every breakthrough, every opening, and I think those kind of positives are really quite uplifting. And on that note, Colm, you told my colleague, my business partner Davitt, recently in a very good interview that you had some exciting things coming on in coming months, including perhaps a name I didn't think I would see at DXB with Dubai Duty Free, and that was Louis Vuitton. So Louis Vuitton coming on stream. Can you tell us more about these openings, and particularly about the Louis Vuitton breakthrough? How did that finally come about?
We've been talking to the Louis Vuitton people for some time. Yeah. And we, as you know, we don't rent space at the airport to suppliers. We do an agreement with them. We call it vendor support. So in our case, if you see a shop with a brand name over it, we still own the shop, but there's a big cooperation between ourselves and the brand. And our buying team have been in discussions with Louis Vuitton for some time, and we've come to an agreement that we will have a dedicated area for Louis Vuitton products, and notice to operate or notice to proceed with the physical work has been given to us by the airport. And we have an area designated for Louis Vuitton. Work is about to start. It will start in the next couple of weeks, and we expect to have a Louis Vuitton shop ready and done and operational by December. So we're very happy about that.
Yeah, and that's a big statement, Colm, and it's a statement from several parties, isn't it? Yourselves, Louis Vuitton, the brand, and the airport as well, because these things don't happen for no reason. That's happening because there's confidence in the future, on the one hand, and secondly, the brand clearly thinks that Dubai Duty Free and DXB is a very good venue to house that great brand.
Yeah, and we're very happy about it also. And we have the area ready. We have done moves within Concourse B, which was in preparation for that.
Yeah.
And since we've had the area ready, we have been doing kind of special offer selling there, and that's been working on its own as well. And it's going to be a big test, but I'm sure it's going to be very successful.
Yeah.
Because, we've all been reading how Louis Vuitton, how well they've done in the last year. And they're excited about coming here. And I'm talking a lot about it being the first time this arrangement has been reached by ourselves and the Louis Vuitton group. And yes, it's going to go ahead, and it's, fingers crossed, going to be very successful.
I'm sure it will be, and you've got I think a program of other openings coming down the tracks as well, and coming pretty soon, I understand.
Yeah, we're going to have a Cartier outlet. We're going to have we have Ferragamo, we have Chanel, we have Gucci, but there's as I say, they're all within the umbrella of Dubai Duty Free.
Yeah,
but we do, as part of the agreement, allow their corporate advertising. We do, as part of the agreement, allow some of the staff to be dedicated to the brand in question. So if Louis Vuitton, if they want to have 2 or 3 staff per day, they will be allowed to wear Louis Vuitton livery. They will be allowed to wear Louis Vuitton. Our notice board at the front of the shop will be talking about Louis Vuitton, but it would also be talking about Dubai Duty Free.
Okay.
And we find that successful for us.
Yeah. Now, for the few people in the industry who don't know the lay of the land with Dubai Duty Free and with the airport, Colm, you referred to Concourse A before. Let's just talk about Concourse A, Concourse B. Where are we at in terms of what's closed, what's open, and what's going to open?
Concourse B is operating. That's the biggest concourse that's there. Concourse C is operating, has been for some months.
Yeah.
Concourse D has been open for the past 2 months, and that's doing very, very well. It's easy for people to get onto, and there's a train service from the check-in point to that area, which was closed for some time, but is now operating. Yeah. And Terminal 2 is operating fully. And the 2 things in question are Concourse A, which is part of Terminal 3, and out of Concourse A always is only Emirates flights. Emirates have announced that most of the 380 aircraft will be back in operation by the next month or so. So there is a likelihood that Concourse 3 will reopen perhaps in the next 6 weeks or 2 months. But that date has not been set, Martin, but it's just a likelihood that will happen.
Yeah.
And the Al Maktoum Airport is closed, and it will be longer term before that's reopened, and I'm quite certain there will be no question of that reopening this year. But it may very well, it's on the cards that it would open for next year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, Colm, you touched on earlier your policy in terms of bringing back staff as opposed to hiring new staff locally. So giving your former staff the opportunity to come back, which is very, very commendable indeed. Just want to ask you about that in terms of your approach to gearing up staff numbers. I guess that's quite complex in that you can't say how steep this recovery is going to be at any time, because this wretched crisis keeps throwing a few spanners in the work, doesn't it? So, how do you approach that? I guess you're doing a lot of short-term forecasting in terms of how you're bringing back people. How does it work?
Well, first of all, our commitment is to bring back, our commitment is if we need extra people, there will be our laid off staff who will be brought back.
Yeah.
We opened Terminal Concourse D recently, we spoke about. And when we opened that, we operated it on an overtime basis for a while, just to see what our needs would be. It has now settled in very much, so we have called back 530 staff. So our staff numbers now is 2,560 staff. As things build up, and as we see more flights being opened or more destination, more freedom within the movement, we will call these people back by degrees. And we do expect by the end of this year to be running at perhaps 4,000 staff, whereas right at the minute we have 2,500.
Yeah, and that's a very significant.
And they're all ex-staff.
Yeah, it's terrific. And that's a very significant number of staff. Back to my point earlier on, we don't look in the rearview mirror too much. What's the business look like now? Well, that's a nice business taking shape again. And in terms of that taking shape, Colm, that recovery, let's talk about your business partners. We talked a lot about brands in the past. How can any supplier, for example, who's listening in to you today, how can they help stimulate the recovery, Colm? So it's more of a win-win for both of you.
Well, we have generally a very good relationship with our suppliers. Yeah. And I think that the business, and we're I don't want to say boasting, but the business of our sale per head increasing so much, all the suppliers are very interested to hear that also. And are very much involved in wanting to do special promotions, wanting to do a feature with this, that, and the other. And we're negotiating with all of them. And sure, if somebody comes up with a good idea, Jeff, go and try it. And our purchasing department have an ongoing relationship with all our suppliers. I'm not saying we're great to do this, but every single supplier we've had have been paid on time, even since the pandemic started. And last year, when Dubai Duty Free itself was losing money, we were still paying our suppliers on time. And our relationship with, if there's something like dated merchandise, for example, generally our suppliers are very helpful in that, like confectionery or foodstuffs. What I'm happy to say is that during the last year, when something like dated merchandise became close to running out, we donated several millions to needy causes in Dubai. We donated both from our foundation, both figures of cash, and later on we did an agreement with one of the outlets in Dubai town that we put an area there and sold off food products at a very reduced price. But being some of our suppliers, they cooperated fully with us, and we're very happy that happened. Yeah. We're very happy that our level of stock financially is at the right figures right now. And as the traffic continues to increase, the suppliers will see with open eyes that their business with us is going to increase also.
Yeah, that's terrific. And Colm, Dubai Duty Free has always had a great reputation for its diversity of offer. It's not just the famous international brands. You've been a great showcase and building block, in fact, for a lot of smaller independent brands. Now, what we've seen in some sectors of industry is that there's been a major rationalization, bestsellers only, in quite a number of locations I could talk about. I suspect that that's not going to be your approach. You're still going to want to offer this kind of broad-ranging, something for everybody approach from Dubai Duty Free. Would that be right?
That is correct. Absolutely correct. We have not cut out products. We have not cut out categories. And we're very, very happy with. But this might be a little bit of the result why our sale per head is increasing all the time. And when customers come, who might have been through the airport 4 or 5 times in normal life, is first time in several months, and we're happy to say that they have some extra cash to spend, and we want everything available to them. We have not cut out any suppliers. We've not cut out any products during this time.
I think that sentiment would be applauded by many, as would your policy of paying people on time, because that certainly has not been the case throughout the industry. So well done on that. Just before we wrap up, Colm, we were talking off air earlier on about some events coming up, and some very important ones. On a closer to home level, of course, we've got the MEDFA conference, and I understand that another important event that I participated in many times will also take place, and that's the Dubai Duty Free Golf World Cup. Tell us about both of those.
Yeah, sure thing. The Dubai Duty Free World Cup is something that Dubai Duty Free started 29 years ago. We skipped it last year, and we've definitely decided to put that in. And it's going to be the 2 days following the MEDFA conference in November. And Dubai Duty Free were also one of the founding fathers of the MEDFA organization.
That's right.
The MEDFA conference is in Dubai on the 22nd and 23rd of November. And then we're running our Dubai Duty Free Golf World Cup on the 2 days following that. And we're just about to advise parties in the industry that have come and visited in the past, the people that participated in the golf in the past. They will be getting a communication within the next couple of days, advising them of the dates and seeing if they want to book a place.
Yeah, that's really, really excellent news.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Moodie organization swinging that club.
Yeah, well, the Moodie organization boasts, of course, a past winner of your Golf World Cup. Colm, it's not the person you're speaking to, unfortunately.
the man in Galway.
That's right. So I'm sure he'll be there. Well, Colm, just to wrap up then, it's been a fascinating conversation. Now, you've led Dubai Duty Free, as I said, since 1983. You've been in the duty free industry a whole lot longer than that. That's nearly 4 decades leading this remarkable retailer, as I said, through many good times, but a few not so good along the way. This is not the first crisis, of course, that Dubai Duty Free has had to weather. So as we start to shape some kind of recovery, and given that we've got people from all around the world tuning into this broadcast, do you have a wider message to that lovely global community out there about the future?
I think the future is very positive. It's been tested and tested and tested for hundreds and hundreds of years. And I think the things we've been done, we're very happy with. I keep on saying that if you have everybody kicking with the same foot, it's so much better. And that's which I'm a bore on about talking about teamwork. I think it's important. It has to go on that way. And that's the secret, in my opinion, to making the thing work. I think treating your customers with care and attention is the second thing, and it's proven to us this year with the sale per head increasing considerably. And, we're looking forward to continuing to satisfy that and to make it one of our targets. The sale per head increases every year from now on. And having done 52 years in the duty-free business, I know there's not another 52 left, so I'll leave that task with somebody else.
Well, that's a good objective, I think, and a pragmatic one, as I'd expect from you, Colm. So, look, we wish you well. I'm sure you'll deliver on that goal, but I'm sure you'll deliver on many others as well. It's been fantastic chatting. I'm glad, like everybody is, to see Dubai Duty Free bouncing back. But more importantly, I'm glad to just see the way you've stuck to your guns, stuck to your principles and your values throughout this horrible crisis. And I think everybody would applaud you and your dream team, Colm, but also everyone at the Dubai Duty Free team, right down to the shop floor and to the back office and then the warehouse. I think you've all done an amazing job.
Well, thank you, Martin, very much. And thank you indeed for continually supporting Dubai Duty Free in your media operation. And we quote, of course, the Moodie report over and over again.
Very good. Thank you, Colm. Well, take good care, and all my best to you, to your lovely wife, Breda, to the whole team. Take good care and stay safe. Colm McLoughlin.
Okay, Martin Mooney, thank you very much indeed.